Welcome everyone. Let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating market strategy that could completely flip the way you look at your portfolio. We're deconstructing a specific framework that totally challenges the usual way people approach the stock market. If you want to maximize your potential over the next few years, you'll really want to stick around for this.
So what if I told you that the absolute biggest gains in the stock market over the next couple of years are already sitting right there, completely in plain sight? Seriously, we spend so much time digging for these obscure underground tips, hoping to find some hidden diamond in the rough, right? But what if the most monumental shifts in wealth aren't hiding in the shadows at all? What if they're literally staring us right in the face?
Let's get into part 1, the plain sight advantage, finding hidden market gains.
You know, it's actually a wild psychological phenomenon that we constantly miss what's right in front of us. The market's next big moves aren't these deeply guarded secrets. They're highly visible trends just waiting to be capitalized on. We're talking about massive structural shifts in the economy. You definitely don't need a crystal ball here. You just need to know how to read the giant, flashing billboards the economy is putting up right in plain sight.
Which brings us to part 2, escaping yesterday's winners, the trap of backward-looking investing.
So why exactly do we miss those massive economic billboards? Well, it mostly comes down to a cognitive bias that keeps us totally anchored to the past. We have got to stop chasing yesterday's winners. Think about how common this is. A stock absolutely skyrockets, makes all the front pages, and then the average investor finally decides to buy in. But buying what has already peaked? That means you're paying a massive premium for past performance. The smart money, though, they identify tomorrow's catalysts long before the crowd even catches on.
Moving on to part 3, the growth sectors, the future of the American economy.
Now, there are 4 specific sectors that are acting as the absolute pillars of the future American economy. We're looking at artificial intelligence, broader technology, healthcare, and energy. This is exactly where the smart money is moving right now. Think about it. AI is completely revolutionizing how we process information. Broader tech is building our underlying infrastructure. Healthcare is rapidly adapting to these massive demographic shifts we're seeing. And energy? That's the fundamental lifeblood powering all of this incredible innovation. If you want to find the next big move, this is absolutely where you need to be looking.
All right, part 4, the selection criteria, the anatomy of a winning stock.
But, here's the twist. When you start filtering thousands of market options down to just the top picks, not every popular stock actually makes the cut. Just because a company operates in AI or energy definitely doesn't mean it's an automatic buy. Actually, current popularity might be the exact thing that disqualifies a stock, especially if it's already fallen into that trap of being yesterday's winner. This framework requires so much more than just existing in a good neighborhood, so to speak. The house itself has to have incredible, unrecognized value.
So the first specific trait we need to look for is the undervalued stock. These are the companies that the broader market just hasn't fully appreciated yet. They're right there, operating in those high-growth sectors we talked about, doing the really crucial work in AI or healthcare, but their current stock price simply doesn't reflect their true potential. Finding an undervalued asset in a booming sector, now that is the ultimate plain sight gain.
The second trait we're hunting for is market dominance. We aren't just looking for participants here. We are looking for the absolute heavyweights. We want the industry dominators, the companies that are setting the pace and totally controlling market share within tech, energy, or healthcare. Because when a company actually dictates the terms of a growing industry, their potential for immense, sustained gains is pretty much unmatched. And finally, you always have to account for the curveball, the big surprise, a wildcard stock pick that completely defies conventional market expectations. Sometimes, the absolute best opportunities don't look like your classic textbook high-growth stock at first glance. A true plain sight opportunity might actually be a very established player quietly cornering a completely new market. Keeping an open mind to the unexpected is absolutely essential if you want to build serious wealth.
Let's wrap things up with part 5, the stakes of missing out, building wealth in tomorrow's market.
Okay, so we've established the what and the how, but now we really have to look at the why. If your ultimate goal is to build wealth, you absolutely must invest smarter. And investing smarter, that means staying ahead of the market. You simply cannot stay ahead if you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror. You stay ahead by actively identifying those undervalued industry dominators before the rest of the crowd catches up to you.
Because the cost of stubbornly sticking to a backward-looking strategy is incredibly high.
As the source material warns us, missing even one of these structural shifts could mean missing the next big move entirely. That's a huge deal. The market pivots so quickly, and the window to capitalize on these specific high-growth opportunities is not going to stay open forever.
So, given the incredibly strict criteria we've covered today, finding that undervalued potential, seeking out true industry dominance, and keeping an open mind for those unexpected surprises within the core pillars of tomorrow's economy, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Is your portfolio truly ready for tomorrow? Are you positioned for the next big move? Or are you still accidentally out there chasing yesterday's winners? It's a critical question to ponder. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you next time.